I had a whole video planned. I even recorded it yesterday. I had a whole video about me criticizing Donda and the changes he made and the rollout and all that stuff. I had that entire video planned out and the beef with Drake, and I have to throw it away. Editing everything thrown away. But you know what? I'm pretty happy that it's thrown away because Donda's finally out. How does one man produce 27 songs, an hour and 48 minutes, and have no skips? Ask Kanye. Welcome back to an episode of Music Banter. I am your host, Ben Holkman, and today we're going to be reviewing Donda by Kanye West. Now, I should say reviewing, it's more of a reaction to it. A review for an hour and 48-minute thing that I've only listened to once isn't possible. It's impossible, I'll be honest. I find myself struggling to kind of think of everything that I want to talk about, but I'm not going to go track by track, and I'm not going to go all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to talk and see how long this editing process is going to take. Probably hours. Sorry, Future Ben. I see how it is. You're just recording and you're thinking, oh, you just let Future Ben do it. But we got math homework to do. What are you doing? But let's get right into this. Donda dropped 8 o'clock. The cover art is just a blank square, a black square.
But I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
I really wanted it to be the red and blue photo. I thought that was really cool. I thought that it had a lot of great sentimental value for it. However, I will say I do like the aesthetic that he's trying to bring to the album. I'm sure I just have a feeling deep down this is a T-Lap situation. Stuff will change, but at least we have a physical album. And speaking of physical albums, please drop a vinyl. Like I will actually buy a vinyl for this. I don't even have a record player. I would actually buy a vinyl.
Shut up and take my money.
Just like I bought the stem player, but then I refunded my stem player. I'm not gonna. I can't use it. I don't know how to use it. I'm not a producer.
But I'm not a rapper.
To me, this album doesn't have a lot of flaws. It doesn't have a lot of things I can point at and say why. You know, I guess if I will pick out some of the bad stuff just really early, the length.
That's what she said.
To the album might be a lot to go through, but I think when going through it, it's completely justified. It's not something that just trudges on and on and on. You know, it's not just like a deluxe version of albums. So sometimes you can kind of get into the middle of it and be like, why am I listening to the old versions and stuff like that? This album sounds incredible from front to back. I guess another thing I would have to say, and it hurts to say this, but Tell the Vision, I think, is probably the weakest track by far on this. And it hurts because I think the Pop Smoke verse is really good. I think also the production's amazing, but it leaves a lot to be desired, especially since everything on this is censored. And that's another complaint I have about it, because in the listening parties, it was uncensored. You can hear all the swear words you want. And I'm not for just throwing in random swear words. But I feel like the flow of a lot of rappers' verses and all that kind of stuff was messed with. The fact that a lot of it is just censored. Hopefully it's not a Jesus is King thing. We'll actually get an entire album that isn't censored, because I would really appreciate it in the fact that I think it helps a lot of the songs. Tell the Vision, I think, sounds awful. Like straight up almost unlistenable without the swear words in it. It just messes up his flow on the track. But I'm looking at this, and that's probably my only complaints of this album. It is genuinely unbelievable. It's an unbelievable listening experience because it just feels like a movie. Like, I know a lot of people were joking, it's an hour and 48 minutes. It is a movie, but it just felt like going through the entire movie. You know, you had a lot of different songs that it was so satisfying to hear their improvement over time. You know, you had a song like God Breathed, or as we knew from the listening party, I Know God Breathed on this, which is a song that to me was needed of something. I couldn't really tell you what, but it was needed of an improvement, and I think that it was received on this album. I think that God Breathed was improved drastically, and that's that little thing.
That's what she said.
That I talk about with those listening parties, and what I've thought about those listening parties, that you could see those little improvements. And speaking of little improvements, the production on this album somehow got better from the second listening party. To me, it is unbelievable. You have a song like Hurricane or Moon or Jail, and you just hear those little additions that he puts into the song. I mean, Hurricane could have been a single, and that would have been one of the best songs of the year, in my opinion. It is one of the best songs of the year. There are just so many highlights to this. Number one, the Jay-Z verse is back, not to spoil anything, The Kid Cudi verse is back. The one thing I will have to complain just a little bit is the fact that the Pusha T verse from, I'm just going to call it South Carolina, I believe it's called Donda, but South Carolina to me probably needed that back and forth. I loved that exchange between Kanye West and Pusha T. I thought that was amazing, but it does help when you add, Ariana Grande's vocals to it because it sounds amazing. Yep, another mistake by me. It's not Ariana Grande, it's Ari Stallone. My bad. Then you have a song like Off the Grid, which just sounds like pure madness and insanity. You got Playboi Carti yelling that he has tattoos on his ribs. You got 504 absolutely going insane on the track, and you have Kanye. I mean, again, another improvement from the second listening party was the fact that 504 was the standout of that track, and all of a sudden you have Kanye just going insane right after. It was amazing. And then you even have these little smaller tracks that aren't going to be talked about, those deep cuts like Heaven and Hell. I haven't heard Kanye be this ferocious and this cold-blooded since The Life of Pablo and maybe even Yeezus. I forgot as I was just listening to the album again, I forgot to talk about the Lauryn Hill track. That track is unbelievable. It's one of my favorite tracks to come out this year. It is insane. I've danced so much to it. I've listened to it more than 10 times already. It is probably my favorite track off the album, or at least one of my favorite tracks off the album. And that just goes to show how amazing this album is, that I forgot in my sort of thinking that song existed. This album is unbelievable. Of course, I'm not going to give a rating to this. Again, this is just a reaction to the album. But I'm so glad about what came out and what was the final project. I don't care what anyone says about this album. To me, this might go down as one of his best albums yet. I keep looking at the track list on my phone. I keep looking at the track list and I'm thinking, wow. I see which songs I liked, and I'm only missing, two songs, and they're not that bad. It's Tell the Vision and Jonah, which are both amazing songs. Tell the Vision's actually probably the worst song off the album again, but still, it's amazing. It really, truly, this album is purely amazing. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried. It was a very emotional experience because it was just so much work to get to this point. I'm so happy that it's done. I'm so happy that this Donda rollout and this Donda album drop is done. For all that we know so far, I'm sure there might be something else. But yeah, this might be the last Kanye video you guys are going to get for a while.
Are you sure about that?
I'm kind of sick of talking about him. Not that I hate him, it's just every other week, man. It's just every other week. I don't know how Watching the Throne does that. I really, big up to Watching the Throne because they really helped me get through this. I don't know how they consistently did a video on everything. Go subscribe. The link will be in the description for Watching the Throne. They're amazing. Their podcasts are unbelievable. But yeah, hopefully we get to talk about something else. I'd like to talk about the deal with Frank Ocean. I'd like to talk about Baby Keem and Kendrick's new track. Ooh, that's gonna be insane, right? That was insane, I should say. That was unbelievable. But boy, oh boy, do we have a very good year for music. We really do. And I think it's on the Certified Lover Boy next. I actually am sort of excited to hear what is going to come from that album. Apparently it's coming out September 3rd, I should say. But yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm so happy that we finally get Donda. I can finally breathe now. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care and peace.